Good evening. It was hard work to start today, but let's hope my dogs will stop trampling all the things that they find to drag into the middle of my floor and trample them. And there's been some strange noises and a few other things, so Lord knows what's going on outside. So we will do our best to ignore it. We will also do our best to ignore the fact that, you know how like you buy something with good intentions and you put it down and now you can't find it? Yep. My box cutter, electric cutlery thing that I had, bugger knows where that went. So, here we are. We are, as always, trying very, very hard. Oh, I need to move my table over to give it a bit more stability. There we go. I have done my best to set myself up for a bit of, not hugely longevity, but, you know, a bit. Give it a chance. So, today we are going to start off with trying to do the bit in the middle. Let's pin this down a little bit. Stop it moving. And we need one of these in a minute. One of these now. Let's have a look. Oh, yawn. Great. Starting with the yawns. Literally, how many minutes in? 3. Well done, brain. I tried to have a nap after work, but my co-workers decided to start having a conversation, so all I heard was ping, 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 ping. They do this every time. They wait till kind of like I knock off work and then they start having a conversation on private phones, not the company ones, private phones. And so it's kind of like, will you shut up? You've had like 9 hours to do this and you wait till the 9th hour is up and then you start talking like, you know, 12-year-old girls about some, you know, current in band, and it's like, can you not? So yes, not at my best today. Distinctly not. Dogs being annoying, acting like they can't get in, and I know they can. See, told you you could. Now we will tear around the house like a thing possessed. Thanks for that. So yes, I tried to have a nap and I've had some dinner and tried to do all the good things, so I'm all ready for all of this, and I just want to go to bed, really. They clearly have all the energy, because I don't. I assume you can hear all of this. We can certainly hear that. Hey! Come on. saw some interesting bobbins today. We all know how klepto I am over bobbins, but I saw some interesting bobbins today. They're kind of like Midlands bobbins, but they're not Midlands bobbins on the grounds. They don't have spangles, and they're kind of thin and straight, and sorely tempted. Sorely tempted. But I don't need them, and I can't really... What am I doing? That's because I'm looking in the wrong hole. That's why it didn't fit. Idiot. There you go. Wondering why it didn't fit, and it's because there's already a pin in it. Wake up, woman. I apologise again for yawning. Go the short route. Did finish watching The Discovery of Witches, though. I do. The first series really captured my imagination. I really enjoyed it. The second one had potential, but it felt like something was missing. The third one just seems, well, stupid. I do know from having read the first book that the first series is fairly true to the original book. The second one is not so much close to the book. I mean, it's not, hugely far, but it obviously admits, and it varies a lot. It varies more than the first did. And to the point, it is very much a shadow of the story of the second book. And so I guess for the third one, they probably already changed far too much, so they're kind of forced to change more of it. A bit like they did with Harry Potter, I suppose, is that in the first book, it was close enough. I mean, it wasn't exact, there were definitely differences, but the first film and the first book kind of did fit together. The second book, they missed a few bits out and changed a few bits, as they do. But by the third book, well, you can't do that now because it never happened in the first one. And by the fourth book, when you miss out the whole house self-rights bullshit thing that, they frankly go on half the book about. Well, come the last book, when Creature actually feels quite strongly for Hermione in the end because he sees and hears about what she's done for elves. All of that, of course, is missing because Creature never redeems himself in the film. In fact, loads of people don't redeem themselves in the film. And you can't be... I mean, so much of it they could have covered with an element of even a couple of one-liners. So the house elf writes thing in Goblet of Fire that she starts, it comes up quite a bit after that. But all it takes would have been a couple of lines in the Goblet of Fire thing, because obviously Hermione gets quite a small part in Goblet of Fire to a large extent. I mean, you know, it's Harry Potter, not Hermione Granger, but the fact that in the first, in that book, there is a lot about her and her elf rights, and her dragging Ron and Harry and everybody into it, and all this kind of stuff. Can you come off, please? Come on. Oh, thank you. Because it's all missing. It's like the same when if you binge watch them, which, you know, most Harry Potter people have binged watched them at some point. The films, that is. You watch the bit where Dumbledore dies, and there's like 5 people in the tower. There's Snape, Bellatrix Lestrange, Greyback, although they don't entirely identify him in the film, Dumbledore, Draco Malfoy, Lucius Malfoy, and Harry Potter. Now, obviously, in the book, there's a epic battle going on in Hogwarts, which is entirely missing from the film. But Dumbledore's put a spell on Harry so that he can't say or move or whatever. So there is none of this shh from Snape to Harry in the first place, because, well, they don't know he's there. But then you watch the next film, so you watch Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2, and it's, oh, the Carrows were there. No, they weren't. There were no Carrows. There were no, other than Greyback, there were no unidentified people in the tower. So you can't go back and change history. And I know that all of the cast refused to read the books, so they would follow the script and not feel, you know, tainted by the book. But in doing so, it allowed for, I won't say key parts, but it allowed for stupidity. Because, you know, if Star Trek I use this quite a lot, about continuity in films and how important details in films are. No, it's not really about film, but it used to be that when Star Trek Next Generation was on, you know, on a weekly basis, Star Trek fans would count Dax's, not TNG, Deep Space Nine, sorry. They would count the spots on Dax. And if there were the incorrect number of spots, there was a moral uproar about the laziness, the inaccuracies, and what a pile of trash, right? And basically she had 2 stripes of spots on her. If people are prepared to go to that level for a series, which of course the Harry Potter films are a series, what makes you think you can get away with fobbing people off with inaccurate and stupid things? So, is it book 2? Yeah, it must be book 2. So, in Chamber of Secrets, that's a thick pin. It's not a thick pin. One's bust his wand by smacking it on the car, and he needs a new one. His parents can't afford a new one. Which is why he has somebody's old wand at the best of times. He goes to curse Malfoy, because, well, Malfoy deserves it. And says, you know, eat slugs and it backfires. Because he's called Hermione and Mudblood. They go to Hagrid's. And in Hagrid's, you know, Harry lets out that he has no idea what the name Malfoy called him means. In the book, Ron, between slugs, says that he called him a mudblood. And Hermione says that she doesn't know what that means. But she could tell that it was not a good name. In the film, Hermione says he called me a mudblood. And that's not a term you normally hear in civilised conversation. Now, we all know that Hermione reads a lot. But they completely changed around the fact that Ron, of course, being, you know, brought up in the wizarding world, who will have heard probably every slandering name under the sun, is the one in the book who points it out. Not the muggle who almost certainly won't have heard it, because it will not be in all the books that she's reading. It puts it in a different way. Now, obviously, Malfoy's still rude for calling her it. That wouldn't, you know, no one's going to disagree with that. But it was an unnecessary change. They were all still there. In the first book, when they go to the forest, Ron, it does not go to the forest because he's had his finger bitten by something and it's gone all infested. That was the dragon. That, of course, makes no... You get the dragon in the film, but all you hear is that Dumbledore sent him away. No. Harry and everybody smuggled him in the astronomy tower with Ron's brother. What's with this little spider? Look, sod off. Go away. Come on, get out of there. Come on. My lace making equipment is not a home for spiders. How can you know, so in the film, they change it from Neville, Hermione, Malfoy, and Harry to Ron, Hermione, Harry, Malfoy. Well, they didn't have to. They didn't have to change it. But of course, because they didn't do the dragon thing, they couldn't really explain why Ron wasn't one of them. And it's... I mean, in some ways, it paints a very important picture, especially for children, which is that once you start telling lies, they just snowball. Because once you've told one lie, well, now you've got to lie every time that comes up. And then you end up telling more lies, and more lies, and more lies. But is this really how you want to paint Harry Potter? Do you want to paint a story about telling lies? And the answer appears to be yes. It's the same with the Fantastic Beasts stuff. Well, that wasn't really even a book. Crimes of Grindelwald. That wasn't a book either. It just... We need to stop encouraging filmmakers to get a good story and to run the crap out of it till you're almost sick of it. I mean, the Harry Potter films were good. Now, of course, they're planning on releasing Harry Potter the series. They're going to remake it all. more true to the book. Really? Really are you now? For an awful lot of us, Snape needs to be played by Alan Rickman. Well, he's dead now. As are a number of the cast, which is quite surprising. Quite a few of the cast have parted ways. So, how do you expect to portray Harry Potter with a whole new bunch of people? Sure, it's 20 odd years on. I'm not going to argue, not going to argue that. But why does it need remaking? It's the same with things like Batman and Spider-Man and I remember being at the cinema, and it was the time when Val Kilmer, Michael Keating, and George Clooney, I want to say, made versions of Batman, and they were very much in the, let's call it, more traditional lines of Batman, along the lines of there is one major protagonist throughout the film, and it's kind of cartoony, almost with kapow and splat appearing on the screen. And, I remember queuing up for hours to go and see those. And then, almost the moment we got to the end of it, it felt like The Dark Knight was coming out. They were remaking Batman. We've literally just watched 3 or 4 Batman films. Why are you remaking them? Because you had Batman, Batman and Robin, Batman Forever, and all that kind of stuff, right? It just felt so forced. And it's the same, I think, recently they did it, well, more recently, they did it with Fantastic Four. They did Fantastic Four with Steve Rogers from American Soldier. They made Fantastic Four, 2 films of that. Great pair of films, everybody enjoyed it. And again, 2 years later, here's a remake of Fantastic Four. Dude, half the people haven't seen the first one yet. Why are you remaking it? There are thousands upon thousands of stories to be told. Why is this fascination of remaking films that there was nothing wrong with them? They made plenty of money and, everybody liked them enough, So why are you remaking them? If they'd been an epic flop, maybe it's a fair comment, because, it was an epic flop. Clearly people didn't like it and want a better one. But when people liked it enough, what is this desperate need to remake a film that you've only just made? If you think of how many books there are out there, how many fantasy, because I struggle with fiction and non-fiction, because in my mind fiction is made up, it's fabricated, it's not real. But for some reason, I've got a feeling non-fiction is the made up one, and because dyslexic, struggle with words anyway, it's much easier to just say fantasy books, right? So things that are made out of people's imaginations. There is plenty of books and stories that are really interesting, and yet you remake the same shit. Why? Go down a library, pick a book, make a film out of it, dude. There were a lot of books written over the years that were cracking books. Didn't make it to films though. And then there were some incredibly terrible films I'm sorry, A Quiet Place. I'm looking at you here. Even worse, A Quiet Place 2, right? The Human Centipede. If you haven't seen that, no, don't do that. There are some really good books out there. There are some series of books out there. There are individual one-off books that are good out there. And you know what happens? No, they don't pick those. No. They pick the same shit over and over again. Looking at you, Star Wars, for the milking of the product. Way too much. So unnecessary. There was no reason to milk Star Wars that hard. It just seems hard going when you want to watch a new film, you look through, and they're either the same films you've already seen, or the shit. Now, I have a bit of a love for terrible disaster movies, preferably earthquakes or volcanoes. And when I say terrible, I'm talking school play level of terrible. You know, the kind of thing where you can almost see, you know, them draw the magma line on the picture and move it accidentally as it's a piece of acetate kind of level of quality graphics here. And I find it kind of amusing to watch, you know, these actors trying to play seriously when they can act out of a wet paper bag. Some of them can. Occasionally you find some famous people in it and you're kind of going, what the hell made you do this? But I do enjoy a good disaster movie. It's, just because, well, usually lots of people die in it. Usually most of the people with bad acting die. And well, it doesn't seem such a tragic loss, you know? You know, oh, so you died. Shame. It's kind of that moment. I'm feeling a little slightly cold-hearted there, but, you know, truth hurts. And I like a good kind of space sci-fi movie. But you don't really get alien movies, as in, you know, little green aliens or whatever. It's usually people stuck in space. You know, doing the tragedy. Oh, our ship's broken down. Whatever will we do? You know, kind of thing. Right? It's never we've met an alien life form. I mean, God help us that say they decide to remake Aliens. Now, obviously, they did try Prometheus to make prequels to Alien. And Prometheus itself was such a awful film that they didn't call the second one Prometheus. They called it Alien Covenant because, well, maybe people wouldn't mind. Or was it the other way around? They call it Alien Covenant and then Prometheus, one or the other. Either way, they were shit. Especially for the second one. Oh, David. Oh, what's going on? We don't understand. And it was obvious from the moment the two dead types of David met that one was going to take out the other. I mean, if you didn't see that coming, where were you? What were you watching? Did you sleep through that bit? It just... And then, of course, it happens. And you're kind of going, see. And... kind of spoiled the film because it was absolutely predictable. And let's face it, we still don't really know where it came from. We just know that the alien dudes had found it and... or didn't bring it to Earth. I mean, they wanted to, but they didn't get around to it. Yeah. Can't help but wonder if you guys are bored of watching me doing this already. Thank you for the follow. So thank you for the follow during the advert break. That's most appreciated. Irritations. Yes. I should try watching Iron Fist again. I was just getting bored, to be honest. It's too similar to the Batman story in my mind, or at least the Dark Knight version. I just couldn't get excited for it. And I'm sure that's wrong. I think someone, obviously back in the 90s and stuff, everyone was like, oh, horror films going to desensitize us. I don't think horror films necessarily desensitized us. I think what we have become desensitized to is the amount of effort it takes to make some of these things. Back in the day, an author would be lucky to put out a book every 4 or 5 years. These days, they seem to do 4 or 5 a year. Some of the big ones do. Some people don't have the time to read that many books in a year. So if you've got to a point where you are, you can output almost books quicker than your readers can read them. It makes them feel less quality than they used to be. Because obviously it used to be, you know, pages and pages of typing, and, you know, they'd send off half a dead tree to a publisher, and the publisher would, you know, do a bit of editing and suggestions and send it back, and then type up a load more, and all those kind of aspects. Whereas today, of course, it's all digital. Which means even less excuses for the typos, my friends. Sorry. But we are almost plagued with too many people can write a book. Because nothing stops you or me, and I mean it legitimately, from publishing a book and selling it on Amazon. You can self-publish and produce, you know, have your book ready for Amazon. They will print them almost on demand, and especially if you do Kindle books. And it's almost belittling the work of a good author, because much like anything, if everyone can now do it, those who are actually good at it are almost drowning in a sea of everybody else. It's much like computer games. If you go back many years, few people put out games. Games did not come out that often. And when games came out, they came out on floppy disks. And once the internet was born, you might be able to download an update. Whereas today, everything's on Steam. You go along, you say, I want to buy this, download. You haven't even handed over real cash. You clicked on a couple of buttons. Money was taken out of your account. You've downloaded it. You play it for an hour or so and go, this is shit. You return it, you get your money back. There are, and you know, I've written some games. I will also point out most of them are shit. But the fact that people like me can write a game sums up that games are too easy to make. And because everyone can make a game, lots of people do. It's a bit like you hear a lot of the influencers from YouTube, and sorry YouTube, but you know, they go along and, you know, they go to a restaurant and they do the, oh, I was hoping to get a free meal so that I could publicise it in my vlog, and you know, my readers or my followers will come and you'll get loads of money from it. And it turns out they've got less, you know, they've almost got less viewers than I do, sort of thing. And the number of people who, I don't wear makeup, right? It's just not in my thing. Never really been into it. Mainly because I had no one to learn from at an age when I would have potentially normally have tried it. And so, well, then, you know, I never played with it at an age where you could screw it up and look like a clown and then get better at it. And now I'm old. Well, if I look like a clown now, people will laugh. So, yeah. Anyway, but it is that kind of, there are things you can do when you're younger and you get away with it. But if I, you know, so I used to watch some of the tutorials on how to do makeup, just because I don't wear it, and so I genuinely don't know how. But the number of times I would watch it, and I've mentioned this to you before, with like one of my favourite things to hate on was an advert. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it was for hair dye, and it would say, now you can be a better natural you. If you've dyed your hair, there's nothing natural about it, honey. Even if it is a natural enough colour, you dyed it. Even if you dye it the exact colour it was, you have still dyed it. You are no longer naturally, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to tell you did it, right? So can we stop pretending that this is natural? because it's not. And Maybelline, maybe she's born with it. What, with green eyelids and blue eyeliner or something? No, maybe she's not born with that. My ex-husband has, I won't call it a fetish, but an obsession, an extreme obsession with the women who rip all their eyebrows out just to draw them on again. Now, I'm not going to say that I do not. I equally find this curious because, well, if you have eyebrows, why do you rip them out only to then draw them in again? I mean, I can understand ripping out, a few stray bits and, tidying them up and then maybe drawing them out, putting a bit of drawing to make it a bit more even in places where it was not. Not that I do that, but I could kind of go with that. But not the whole kind of rip it off, wax it off, tattoo it on, perhaps. I mean, seriously, why? And because, of course, permanent makeup is a tattoo. Let's not pretend that it's anything better than that. And you can have eyeliner, you can have lipstick, and you watch. And of course, if you ever need it removed, if you've never seen how they remove permanent eyeliner tattoos, you should be made to watch that before you ever have one. Because they get like this brass, almost like the old wax seal things. But obviously it's slightly curved so it goes over your eyeball. And they literally put it over your eyeball. So it can waggle around as you look side to side. And then of course they have to laser your permanent makeup off. Which of course is why the brass thing to protect your eyes. Because in the name of mercy, why? Right? It's like tattoo removal. There is a part of me that says if you're dumb enough to tattoo things on your body that you could ever regret, well, you shouldn't have done it then, should you? This is your consequence. I'm not overly sympathetic in those areas, I will admit. But it's, how have we got to a point where this is a thing, right? It's just crazy talk. Crazy. And I'm feeling really sluggish and really kind of odd. It's almost like someone's fed me sleeping pills. As I said, I feel very, very odd. And as I know there are no sleeping pills in my house, it cannot be that, but it does exactly what it feels like. It feels like almost that kind of count backwards from 10, 9 kind of job. I feel kind of like I've been drugged. I definitely feel like I've been drugged. That is the only word for it. So clearly something is afoot. Alright. One more to go, dipshit. Never mind. Seems to be a fad of people wanting to get sewing machines at the moment. One of the more interesting ones I saw was, hey, I've got a 9-year-old girl, she wants a sewing machine. Or I want to get her a sewing machine, but I'm due to give birth to her little brother any day. So what can I get her that she won't need a lot of supervision? Well, a manual one, obviously. That's not going to happen. Have you ever had one of those books where you just can't read it and you can't explain why, but you can't? I wanted to read Stephen King's Nightmares and Dreamscapes, and literally I would pick up the book, I'd be wide awake, I'd sit there, I'd be sitting up, you know, I almost could be standing there, and I'd start reading the first page, and before I got to the bottom, I'd be asleep. And I tried so many times to read that book, it was ridiculous. And I couldn't do it. I just, every time, fell asleep. So I got someone else to read me the first page. Now I fell asleep during that too. And it's kind of like, how is that, you know, why is it I cannot read that book? I never did read it in the end. This doesn't feel right. I'm sure it is, but it doesn't feel right. I think it's just because it's a little bit baggier at the sides. Got the yawns again. I've got a friend who struggles with the kind of altering of stories. She's a mega Lord of the Rings fan, and I'm not going to disagree with her, that's for sure. I mean, I've read it. I have actually read it. But she hates the films because they deviate from the book so much. Hang on. Um, I must have thrown like 12 pins on the floor already today. I have them in my hand, and this is something I've suffered from before. Usually stress related, not going to deny that. But you pick something up, and you know, like those grabber toys where you squeeze a handle and it tightens on something, and if you like adjust your grip, it accidentally lets go. My whole hands act like that. In that, you know, there's me trying to pick something up, and it'll be in my hand, and then it's not. And it's like, I didn't let go. I didn't deliberately let go, but somehow I successfully had it in my hand and then let go for it. And I seem to be doing that really well with pins tonight. I pick up the pin, I can feel I've got the pin, and then suddenly I no longer have the pin. So I'm going to work a set in a minute. There we go. hands feel slow. I don't know how to explain that. I get this with my hearing as well. My hearing slows, and it also varies with my heartbeat. I don't know quite how that works, but so for example, if I storm across a car park, for example, and get to the other end and there's, say, a fan going, so there's a continuous noise, I will hear more of a shh, 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 kind of a, as my blood pumps around. It's not my blood pumping, but the volume and the pitch of the sound vary with my heartbeat. And if I stand really still for a little bit, so my heart goes to normal kind of rate, it sorts itself out. But right now, I feel slightly disjointed from my anatomy, which is not a good thing. As I say, it's like I've been drugged, that there's something wrong with me that... not quite sure what it could be, but, you know, something's up. As I say, feels like I've been drugged, you know, movie style. Almost the... I've been drugged, but I'm conscious, and so I'm no longer in control, but I can see what's going on and hearing it, you know, kind of. I'm slightly up from that on the grounds that I'm still moving, but that clearly something along those lines is about to happen, you know. What the fuck was that? Is that you, dog? Or is that something outside? Because I live near wildlife, you do get strange noises outside. And one of the strangest things we've got is it's a nighttime animal, and I assume it's a bird. I don't think it's a fox, although foxes do make kind of weird noises. And hedgehogs make a lot of noise at the right time of year. But there's like this thing that goes, "Nya! Nya!" And you're like, oh, but it's quite loud. And I don't know what it is. I mean, it hasn't killed me, so I'm kind of okay with it. But it's quite loud and it annoys the dogs because it will suddenly just do it for no apparent reason. And there were some noises, and it wasn't those noises, but there were some noises, almost like an injured owl kind of noise. And it's kind of like, I can't be sorting out everyone else's stuff today, you know. Important meeting early tomorrow, so I need to go to bed and I need to get some sleep and not wake up 6 times in the night for a pee, like I did last night. We need not to have his grumpiness in the bedroom tonight, because his grumpiness doesn't like it when he's got a good spot and somebody moves, and it could be anybody, including me. Now, it's not like he bites us or anything, but he growled at everybody for moving. We do not put up with that. Thank you very much. I have a couple of marks from grumpiness. I mean, for example, you probably can't really see them too well on camera, but there's like the Wolverine scratches. That was me. He gives you his paw and he's very, very cute, but he is also very sensitive about people touching his paws. Now, you would think as someone who's with him 24/7 and that he loves dearly, you would be in a better position for this. No, is the short answer. I found what felt like a bit of mud on one of his claws, so I went, pick. That was the result. He did want it out, and just used his other claw and scratched the living crap out of me. So it looked like Wolverine got me. I've got, you can't really see it, but there's a scar on the back of this. This was me defending. I put my hand up kind of karate style, so my thumb was away from me. So that there was a flap in my hand for it to come in contact with. And I defended myself rather successfully because my thumb got the teeth. Now, he didn't perforate the skin, but he did break everything underneath it. So all of the flesh underneath it. So there is a scar on the back of my thumb. I don't hold it against him, but, you know, as part of the story and setting the scene. But then there was the one time he lost his shit with his sister, and he went to bite her, and I got in the way, and I have, can't really see it on camera, there you go, you can just about make out there's a lump there, right? That didn't stop bleeding for 24 hours. That was deep, and that one really friggin' hurt, because, well, it actually went in. This was a full-scale chomp. Now, admittedly, it was only the one tooth. I'm not quite sure how he succeeded in only doing the one tooth, because he's not that big. It's not like, you know, impaling yourself on a kind of raptor claw of a T-Rex or anything. It's, you know, his teeth are close enough together that if you caught one, you should have caught a few more. But it didn't. I only caught the one, but it really friggin' hurt. And as I say, it didn't stop bleeding for a really long time. So, he doesn't tend to do that anymore. Now, part of that was he woke up in the night because, and I don't know how else to put this, I think something happened to him when he was a little puppy and traumatised him a lot. And I don't entirely know what it was, but it seems to involve if he is sleeping and something touches his butt. Now, considering when they found him, there barely were eyes open, and they were in a supposedly reputable dog shelter and all the rest of it, you really would hope that he didn't have particularly bad memories of before times. Because no one knows what happened to his mother, they just found the puppies. But something clearly happened. He still overly unnecessarily objects to if you're half asleep and you move your foot and it touches his butt and he was mostly asleep. He will give you kind of like the cue and the horse you can rode in on, and your mother's a whore, and you know your dad smelled of elderberries, and the whole kind of, you know, rant about, you know, how you know your birth lineage and all the rest of it. But he is not chompy anymore, but he still gets told off for the bad mouth because, well, it's unnecessary. Nobody here has hurt you. You have hurt other people. You've taken chunks out of your sister. You've taken chunks out of me. We will be not accepting this behaviour. And so there was one time he did it quite recently. He was ready to take a chunk out of someone. He turned around and saw that it was me and was, oh, fuck, sorry. So he does know, and he has more of an adult level of comprehension of the consequences of his actions. But yeah, I love him dearly, but it makes me sad that he has something in him that makes him so prone to being scared by it, because it very much is a fear response, not a you know, play response. It's not a game out of hand thing. Because to be honest, you know, if I start a game and I lose because, you know, a bit of me gets chomped and I started the game, then, well, you know, which one of us is the idiot? Clearly me, right? And as a child, I got a very similar bite to this one off my nan's dog and my gran had, my gran was in the garage. We were all in the garage. And I did to my gran's dog what I used to do to my dog, because my dog thought it was fun. Her dog did not. Turned round, bit me. And Gran was like, oh my God, are you alright, you're alright? And I went, oh, well, I deserved every inch of that. And I must only have been 7 or 8. And I've always been very, kind of, it's not the dog, if it is my fault. So, for example, what I did to my gran's dog was I walked up behind it and poked it in the ribs. Not hard, but I surprised it. Well, then I deserved it. I have been bitten for no obvious reason whatsoever by some dogs in my time. Got bit on the knee when we first moved here by next door's dog that turned out to be constantly, utterly picked on by the neighbours' kids. No, not the kids in plural, the male kid. And he encouraged all of his friends to pick on the dog. So the dog saw new people and assumed that I was going to almost be picking it up and swinging it by the black's legs, because that was the kind of thing they did to it. It was a little West Highland white. And so scared the shit out of it. And one day, I can't remember why, the girl came and got me over. I think because he was bullying the dog and he wouldn't stop. And I went in and I threatened to do it to him. It's kind of, you do that to that dog one more time, I will do it to you. And I will take far more enjoyment out of it than you are. And he, but the poor dog was absolutely petrified. And having watched it go through that, I'm not too surprised. But when I first met it, didn't know this, I'm at the doorway talking to its owners, and it ran up and chomped me on the knee really hard. I mean, it couldn't reach any higher, but it left a huge bruise and everything, right? So I was not overly impressed. The next one was, I was at a New Year's Eve party. The dog knew me very well, kind of liked me, I'm not going to say I was its best friend, but, it met me many times. It never had a problem with me. It usually came and said hello and sat on my lap and stuff. It was a little Jack Russell thing. And I'm sitting on the floor, minding my own, sitting there, because I don't really do parties. Keeping out the way and wondering, is it, am I allowed to legally leave yet, And literally, I'm sitting there, hands in my lap, cross-legged on the floor. Dog ran across the room, bit me here, between the thumb and fingers, and ran off again. And it was kind of like, what the fuck? I literally hadn't moved. All I'd done was maybe think, can I go home yet? It's, so undeserved. Its owners didn't give a shit. It never showed any form of aggression to me afterwards. Saw it many times afterwards. But on that day, bit the crap out of me. I think it was overwhelmed by people. Came over to me, but when it got there, maybe the anxiety was too much and it was a bit full of rage. So it bit me because it didn't know what else to do with itself. But thanks, dog. Cheers for that. But it makes me sad that I can't convince Rory that, the world here is not there, and he doesn't have to be scared, that things can touch his butt while he's asleep, and it's not a problem. I really would like him to feel more comfortable that, he didn't react that way, that he got over it. But I think the short answer is he never will. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because he's such a good boy normally, aren't you? Yes, you are. I've been talking about you. Oh, you look tired, my friend. Are you tired too? Yes, you're tired too. Because normally you're such a gentle little boy, aren't you? Yes, you are. When your sister's outside and we get to have some nice hugs without little Miss Tornado coming in. You're a good boy. You are falling asleep, aren't you? You're as bad as me. thanks for yawning. That will really help me stop yawning, that will. Good doggy yawn. Here comes Tornado. Here she comes. I will say though, Rory, you have breath like a builder's ass. Is there any particular reason for that? You have your teeths. You've got lovely white teeths. You have. You've got lovely white teeths. So why would your just wanted to check that you hadn't got some form of infection or a bit of build up of plaque with stuff growing behind it. No, you have lovely white teeths. Oh, Tornado, that bit is not for standing on, little girl. I think Rory's trying to eat one of your... Oh no, he's not trying to eat one of your back legs. You're trying to stand on his head. Have you considered that, thrusting yourself upon the scene is less socially acceptable? I mean, I thought I had social cue issues. You really are like a little toddler. I mean, I know that dogs generally are like toddlers. No, don't put your foot on it. Don't do that. No. Dogs are a lot like toddlers in the sense of they never get, they only have they have a level of understanding, but she is really like the little toddler who, does anyone remember Adrian Mole? Adrian Mole. In Adrian Mole, there was a character, and I can't remember how she was related to Adrian Mole, but he would see her in the park. I don't think they were dating. It was not that kind of thing. It was kind of like his sister's friend or something. Anyway, her kid would scream tit, run across and just like lift up a shirt and suck on it, right? That's what she's like. She's almost the I've decided I want, stroll in, take, get, under every, no is not option here, is you can't say no to me. So, I demand whatever I want. You will be giving me it. So I want a hug. I will climb in your face and you will give me one. But only for 3 seconds because I got bored now and I want to get down and do something else. Oh wait, I changed my mind. I wanted a hug, didn't I? I'll get back up now. Oh, actually, yeah, maybe not. Oh, but a hug would be nice. Gets back on. It gets a little tiring. Not too surprisingly, to be honest. For those who know the dog ability to, I want to go out, I want to come in, I want to go out, I want to come in. You know how this can be. It can be a little much, which is why my door's got a automatic closing mechanism and a thing that stops it fully closing so that they can open it for themselves and it will pull itself shut so that in the winter, when it's colder like it is at the moment, I mean obviously it's not cold, but it's still colder than I'd like it inside anyway, that that it will keep most of the heat in because the door's pulled too, but when it's not, that's fine because yeah. Time is it? 8:15. So that very reasonably they can let themselves in and out without me having to get up and do all the things, because as we all know, as dog owners, I want to go in. Oh, actually, it's a bit windy out. I won't do that. Oh, actually, it's. And why are you not round that pin? Of all the things, the times not to be round a pin, you are not round a pin. Now you're round too many pins. Get around that pin. There is just this whole kind of either go in or come out, pick one. You either need the pee or you don't need the pee. I really don't care, but can you just pick one? And most dog owners understand it's not that you don't love your dog, and it's not that you wish any harm on it or anything along those lines, because you would probably die for your dog if you had, if your dog was in a burning building, you'd probably run in after it. But the truth of the matter is there's times you'd taser your dog in a heartbeat, just for 5 minutes peace, just for the ability to sit down and, I know, have a poo in peace would be nice, but ignoring the poo in peace thing, just to sit down and well, just, drink a bit of your drink, and not be the roof, want to go out, roof, want to come in, roof, want to go out, roof, want to come in. And of course, if you've got more than one of them, it's the roof, want to go out. Okay. Do you want to go out? No. Roof, dog outside wants to come in. Roof, dog that was previously not wanting to go outside, now wants to go outside. Roof, okay, I'll let you out. Roof, dog that come inside now wants to go outside because the other dog's outside. And they just spend the whole day going in and out and in and out. And all you do is act as doorman. You might as well just take up your profession and live there. It's a bit like one of those days where all you seem to do is wee. You go for a wee, and then, well, by the time you pulled your pants up and gone and sat down, you kind of need another wee. And you're like, I literally was just there. You said you were done. Yeah, but I need a wee now. So you go back, you sit down, dribble. Okay, really, that was it? Yeah, that was it. Pull your pants up, go back to the couch. I lied. Oh, fuck's sake. And all he seems to do all day is have a pee. And it's kind of like, shall I just take my laptop and stream shit? And, shall I put a TV, monitor up in here or something so I can watch it while on the loo? Because clearly I'm going to be taking residence. We've all had a day a bit like that. Those days are glorious. But last night was a bit like that. Every time I woke up, well, I woke up a lot, and every time I woke up, I needed a pee. I assume that's why I woke up, but it's kind of like, really? And you look at the clock and it's like, it has been 3 seconds since you last went for a pee. We have decided that we need another one. Really? How can you need another pee? I did not drink that much yesterday. I really didn't. Well, never mind. We've converted it from something, so off you go. I have too many bobbins. 2, 3, 4. No, I don't. Okay. Just felt like too many bobbins. Never mind. On the subject of too many wees, does anyone else do the I'm trying to think now I need a wee? It's almost like the more you think, the more you need to pee. Like your brain and your bladder are absolutely connected. And the more you try and concentrate on something, the greater you need a wee. I've had that kind of problem for years. The other option is frustration and itching. Something else I've suffered from. Usually when it's warmer though. I assume because I sweat and then the frustration. Hi, Tenchy Tench. I was thinking about you the other day. How's things? You saving me from talking crap, because that can be a thing. assume all is good and you can hear me. So suddenly wondering if that's true, and I've been talking to myself the whole time. I assume you can hear me. Maybe not. Well, the meter's moving, so I'd assume you can hear me. Dog's thrown up, excellent. Oops. Can't type with his hand, clearly. So yes, yep, I need to add a pair of bobbins. Yep, cross. Everything's all working. It looks like it's working. But we've had that before. It'd be embarrassing to have got 90 minutes in and no one said anything, mind, but oh, itchiness. Ads in 3 minutes. That's not right. That's better. Now what? You may recall I was quite pleased with myself because I've opted out of on-call. Oh. It may turn out that I still have to do on-call, even though it's not in my contract. So we're going to see how that turns out. Could be interesting. I'm not quite sure how that will work out as it's not in my contract. So. Oh, good, good. Glad I'm not just talking to nothing, because I've muttered away as I do. I am talking a bit quieter than I think I normally do. Does that help? A bit closer to the mic? Yes, I have indeed 2 complete squares. Fair enough. Yes, as you can see, we're part way through triangle number 9 now. Did I update my thing? I don't think I did. Oops. Hang on. Yeah, I probably should update that. I'll update it tomorrow. Yeah, we are now on square number 3 and triangle number 9. Trying to be enthusiastic. It's not that I'm not enthusiastic, that's for sure. You may have noticed I've changed my bobbins. In part of this is to battle a little of the potential memory fatigue of didn't I just do this shit kind of option. And I do like these bobbins, so, you know, it's not I hate the bobbins or anything. They're a bit lighter than the other ones, but they also stack better. I mean, look at this big pile of bobbins, but they don't look quite as big, but there's actually more there than normal, so from that point of view, it does work quite well. They do stack quite nicely, so they also have non-tapered necks, so that helps in that this doesn't slide up. They still occasionally undo themselves and they're really annoying, but why are my dogs so annoying? Yeah, so yes, we're having fun. I have so many of these paler ones. I've got a few more of the darker ones, but I have like a metric crap ton of the pale ones, so got like 200 of them or something. Or did I buy 250? It was a lot anyway. I bought a lot. Can you just stop running around, dog? Pretty sure there's nothing out there. It all looks pretty dark, so. I can hear something. Let me go and check it's not the dog drinking out the toilet, because he does that occasionally. Well, I'm back. He wasn't, but I don't know what he was doing. He was doing something he shouldn't be. Thank you. Yes. But I have given them some fresh water anyway, so that'll cheer them up a bit. And of course now I feel all hot. I assume the heating's kicked in. Because they've been in and out so much. There, better. You're just unwinding. I'm watching you. Thanks for that, bobbin. I watched you just constantly unwind then. Thank you for that, Miss Bodily Functions. What did you do? Stick your head in it and blow bubbles? Did I miss one? I did. I thought I had. Dear God, woman! How rude! How rude of you! By the way, if you puke on me, well, you fell off. You slid off my knee. My knee didn't move. Rory, you can't get on me. You can't. And you puked on my lace pillow the other day, so we're not having a repeat. Okay, my friend? Oh, puppies, you are such a pain in the arse. Yes, you are. Oh, off you get. Here you go. just need to make sure that these are actually the bobbins I need, because they feel like they're coming from the wrong angle. Now it could just be things caught on pins. So I don't think it is, even though you look like you do come over the top. So where is a stick of poking? I can't believe I bust this nail down to like finger, because it means I can't pick anything up. You feel like you are. Yes, you are round a pin. That's why you feel shitty. There we go. Now you are coming from angles I would expect. That's good. I feel better now. But I definitely think my heating's kicked in because it's getting well warm in here. There is no room for you up my right hand side, dog. There really is not. I'm sorry, but you'll have to go up the other side. You don't look like you've got 5 beds. 1, 2, 4, 5. You do. Okay. Let you off. You can go over there in the big pile of bobbin. 3, 4, 5. You get a stick. No. Oh, what, that? Yeah. That was Amy who decided to leap. I can't remember if it was on or off the couch, but Amy decided to leap. And that was her claw digging into my hand, as apparently it makes a really good launch pad. I will make at least one concession. It was not a softer, squidgier part of my anatomy. Because they use those too. So from that point of view, result, from the pain and after effects point of view, not so much. Because she is so skittish, she is the most likely to launch off me and do things. But of course, she also incites her brother to do it, which is just as bad. So there you are, you know, having to sit on the couch or even a snooze on the couch, and suddenly 2 20+ kilo dogs are using you as launch pads because One of them heard an ant fart in Nova Scotia. Just don't need that, you know. Really, really don't. Could distinctly do without that, to be honest. So yes, but she's the most likely to instigate that. Well, they seem to. Given the geographical location of Nova Scotia from here, I would like to say no. In the fact that if you blew up Nova Scotia, I don't think we would hear it from here. But it's partly just a phrase I use when they have heard nothing, you know, some fictitious sound, or, you know, the killer vampire man-eating ants from Nova Scotia that are coming to get them, apparently. You know, that kind of... it is kind of a facetious comment of, you heard nothing, but you're all up about it, and so it's ants farting in Nova Scotia. It's... I have good hearing, and on many occasions I've heard things before the dogs. But they then get all manner of worked up because, and it's like, there is literally nothing there. It's not even a leaf fell from the tree, you know, it's, what are you making such a racket about? I do have to say, part of me is quite glad in a way we live in such a quiet road, because I think if they had people walking past all the time or something, I would have cracked by now. The reality is the only people who walk past this house are coming in this house. 99.9% of the time. I think there's been like 3 occasions when someone's been walking around and it's almost the, what are you doing? Because you probably shouldn't be here. Because it's a dead-end road, there's no way out except through someone else's garden kind of thing. There really isn't... And there's only 3 houses down here, so... It is a really quiet road. But... that doesn't seem to stop them, and they're... Oh, alert, 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 there's nothing there! I know. Got cameras too, so I know there's nothing there, because, well, it'll be on camera. It's basically just me being facetious about them being twitchy over nothing. But to be honest, it is. They might as well be hearing ants fart in Nova Scotia. It's on that level somewhere. It's a noise that is so far away and small that we do not need to care. This is not an important noise. I do not care if my neighbours so much are eaten by the, you know, killer axe-wielding murderers. I mean, I would, actually, because they're nice people. But, you know, in principle, we do not need to worry and bark about it because, well, it's not our house. When they want to come into our house, then make merry hell. Because, of course, for all the times you make merry hell over literally nothing, means I'm far more likely to ignore you come the day you mean it. We've heard the story of the dog who cried woof, have we not? Yeah? It's not an uncommon conversation. You are barking at nothing. Will you shut up before I brain you one? I mean, we all love our dogs, right? But occasionally you do want to taser them, brain them. I have always said that when I say I want to brain them, I want to do it like Tom and Jerry style, where you smack them with a shovel, and the shovel, deforms around their face. They look a little bit stunned for 2 seconds, shake their head, and move on, right? So there are times that I could cartoon shovel the dog, smack, clang, just out of sheer frustration, because I don't want to actually hurt them. Although it is slightly more questionable at that millisecond in time. But it is, I like I've said before about how if you've never kind of experienced road rage, you clearly don't really drive. Because, well, have you met some of the people who drive out there? And it's the same with a lot of things. If you kind of go, oh, I don't understand this, you clearly, we had the conversation today of the kind of like, because we do shooter training, we have to, even though we're British and it's not very common over here, we have to do shooter training because we're part of an American company, and it's kind of like, and you get these people going, oh, I don't understand, I don't know how people do that. Have you not seen some of the stupid things that go on? Have you not listened to them wasting money? Yeah, we have to do training so that in an event of a shooter, we know what our priorities are. Which is kind of weird when you consider I work from home. So if someone turns up here with a shotgun, kind of wanting to shoot the place up, I did not make any decisions, so you're definitely going after the wrong guy here. But also, good luck to you. But it is, we do shooter training, in the sense of there is a shooter in the office trying to kill you all. What would you do? I have to say, as someone who works pretty much 100% from home, although I do have to go in the office this week on Thursday, but yeah, I know. I also have to do my heavy lifting course, my anti-static course, my how to identify things I shouldn't mess with in the office course. It's my house, darling. If I don't want to mess with it, I'll fucking know, I'll leave it alone. But I have to do all those courses. Not for much longer. But I have to do all of those. I have to do what to do if you get a phishing email, how to identify them. I've never failed one yet. Because we get random tests, we're now getting random drug tests, and I raised the question, so, because a lot of us have been working from home, some of our contractors who work for us are much further afield. I know that we used to have one, for example, who, when he was at home, was in Edinburgh. It's a bit of a trip. Are you really going to make this dude drive from Edinburgh to here to piss in a cup? Apparently, yes, we are. If they wanted to. So pitting in a cup's going to be a thing. So we've got training on that. Not how to piss in a cup, but training on why we need to piss in a cup. We have many courses. Oh God, we have many courses. I reckon it's about 2 a week. As an average. There's about 5 or 6 cyber ones. There was one email that I have to give them credit for. It was really, really quite authentic looking. And if I won't say I fell for it because I didn't, but I have really kind of questioned whether it was real. And because they had my name, they had my email address, which of course you can get off my domain name, so it's really not that big a deal. You can have my address from my email, from that, because quite a few of the things wouldn't let you go private. So, if you know the right place, you can find it. Actually, it's the wrong address, but we won't tell them It's my old address. It's still mine, so it's still real. I still own it. I just don't live there. So that's an advantage. But there is a bit of you that kind of struggles with, they can be fairly authentic. I know a friend of mine. Now, I thought she had a bit more nous than this. Turns out she didn't. She got... Yeah, you see, stuff like that is hard to believe that it's not from someone at Adobe. My friend fell. Now, obviously, you guys don't have a TV license. Well, I don't know why we have a TV license, but we do. It's about £190 a year to watch live TV, right? And it all goes to the BBC, even though they produce the least amount of live TV and frankly, the shittest live TV these days. But she got a thing saying that her TV license direct debit had failed. She needed to click on this and do various actions. Now, she invited me around for a cup of tea after doing this. And she was like, "Oh my God, I don't know how I was supposed to know it was a scam." She showed me the mail. First of all, the mail was lime green. Normally, business emails are not in really bright, loud colours. They might have corporate colours on, so there would be a logo, and if the logo's a bit of a bright colour, that's fine. But the background for the email is not normally lime green. That's just not a professional thing to do. So I held my finger over the from address, and it was from, IR scammers at scam.scam.com kind of thing. And it was like, all right, it's lime green. So number one, it's lime green. It doesn't look professional. Really wouldn't have fallen for that. Secondly, you hold your thing here, and it tells you it is not from the BBC. Now, you can spoof that it's from the BBC, but it didn't even try. Thirdly, the URL it took you to is not where you pay your TV licence from. She had to close all of her bank accounts and make whole new ones because of this, right? And I mean, I do feel sorry for her because she had to go through all that shit because she fell for it. And she got done out of about £400, which she really does not have to spare. I mean, most people don't have £400 to spare, but she really doesn't have £400 to spare. And so, she was properly breadline at the best of times, and now she was £400 down. But she was really surprised because it was like, but how can you be so confident it's a scam? Well, because everything about it screams scam. I mean, if you are truly... I mean, I've had a few potentially real ones, as I said. I've had a few that were closer. So, for example, because I do buy random shit on eBay and all the rest of it, there's been a few spates of you owe money on your parcel. Now, they all say to you, we will never write to demand money for you off your parcel, except I've actually had one that did. It's been a few years now, and maybe that's why they stopped doing it, but I remember, and it was genuine. But I've had a few of these things, sort of like, check on your parcel, but I'm not expecting a parcel. So you have to be careful you don't click on those. Always go to the tracking site and put the code in, not click on the link. And that's generally been my best bet, and I've survived all these years because I've had my email address for 30 years plus now. I've never been hacked. I've never had my Facebook hacked. I've never had any of that. Even though I probably don't change my password as much as I should. I do know that some of my passwords have been leaked on the internet. Good luck to you. But the truth of a lot of it is if you get an email that says your payment hasn't worked, you've got something, you need to go to this website to do an action, unless it's the, hey, we see you haven't clicked this and it's in your basket and you were doing it like 2 hours ago. If you don't remember it and you're not sure what it is, go to, say, PayPal, log in, and look and see if they sent you messages. Go to eBay, check and see if they sent you messages. Etsy, go and see if they sent you messages. Because they will have on their website, Amazon do the same, a copy of every mail they will have sent you. So you can verify it's from them. Anyone who only sends it to a username, anyone who sends it to your email address, that's not a good sign. Never fall for them. Always take whatever website, and if it's not one you've ever used, don't do it. Oh, and don't report them as spam either, because 90% of the time that's just confirming your email address worked. Don't do that. Just delete it and block it. Do not report it as spam, unless you report the spam direct to your ISP. Do not do the unsubscribe. Do not do, report this as junk link in the email. Never click on any of the links in the email. Always go to the website and say, I have had this. It looks like it comes from you. And they will verify whether it's them or not. I think there was one that I was confident was spam and it was actually real. And I was really surprised because it was the most piss-awful email from a professional company I'd seen in my life. It was almost had lots of spelling mistakes and it was kind of like, and you sent this? I mean, it wasn't a scam, but I had one that annoyed me this week. There was something I saw on eBay, and for the price of like £3.27, I could get a pile of stuff, and it was worth, frankly, far more than that. So I noticed in time that it was ending in a couple of minutes. It told me I won. I immediately paid for it. 3 hours later, the seller sent me an invoice for the money. Exactly, right? There is that kind of bit of you that goes, if you get anything along those lines, no. If it's not a company you buy from and they're sending you, oh, you've won. No, you didn't. If you did not. No matter how much you might want one, you did not. The number of companies that I get frustrated about, there are more companies that do this now where you almost can't have a look on their website without signing up for shit. But they don't say to you, we're going to mail you 6 times a day for the rest of eternity. They just, we need you to sign up so you can, we can give you better deals and all the rest of it. We can do you a better price because we'll know where you are and you'll have answered some questions. Yeah, but all they actually do is send you 6 emails a day and you go, I don't care if you've got everything I ever wanted. I do not need 6 emails a day from you. It's a bit like, I don't know if you get it over there, Tenchi, but we get estate agents. Are you thinking of selling your house? We've got plenty of people who'd like to buy it. If I was thinking of selling my damn house, I'd have gone to an estate agent and picked one. I do not need you to send your shit through my door when you are like a nationwide level company that everyone's heard of. Do not need you, cold spamming me trying to sell. What, you think I'm going to wake up one day and just because I got your thing go, yeah, fuck it, let's sell the house? No. Nobody does that. It's a pain in the arse to sell houses. We all have to pay far too much tax on it. And frankly, it's a dumb idea. So can we not? For those who don't know, in the UK, you pay tax on every house you buy. It's called stamp duty, but it's tax. You pay, I think it's 5% or something. Yeah. And that's, I started getting them before I'd even moved in with this house. I pretty much, actually that was one of the saddest parts. I bought the house, got the keys, and within a week I'd had 3 things about, do you want to sell your house? And one saying, the police have been in your area due to a burglary, and you're like, great, I haven't even moved in and the area's gone to pot. Thanks for that. I never actually did find out who that was. Anyway, bit late to be asking now. But, there are a lot of things that you don't necessarily want. Just because, for the sake of the argument, let's say I bought you a Christmas present, Tenchi, and it's some random piece of crap. I know, it's a purple squirrel, right? Because we haven't talked a purple squirrel for ages, right? So let's imagine I bought you a purple squirrel so you can, have the joys, right? Well, that doesn't mean I now need the Purple Squirrel Company to be mailing me every 10 minutes about, do I need another purple squirrel? Because, well, first of all, it was a present. Second, so it's not like I necessarily even ever wanted one in my life. I'm buying it for someone else who does, I do hate the assumptions that companies do of you bought something from us 6 years ago. We've now sent you 6,092 emails, and you haven't bought anything since. Maybe this one's, the next email's the charm, right? No. You're just annoying the shit out of me. I wish they wouldn't do that. I wish you had to opt in for, please send me updates. Some of them do. Some of them are decent, and you log in, and, you buy something from them and they go, if you're interested, please sign up for our thing, click on this and hit subscribe kind of thing. But too many of them, you bought something, we're now going to send you mails at least every day for the rest of your life. And it's like, I don't know, for example, I get quite a few from the hamper company, and because it's raring up to Christmas, they're obviously trying to, drum up a bit of business. And it's not that I don't wish them well, because I really do like their pasties, and I am due, potentially, to buy some more. But I do not need a mail a day about your pasties. I will order them. How many of these damn pasties do you think I eat in a day? If I've ordered 12 of them from you, it's going to take me at least 12 days to eat them, because they're quite big. Actually, I eat 2 at a time. Who am I kidding? But I couldn't eat them every day. Or actually, I probably could. But there is a bit of you that kind of goes, when I want some, I've clearly, I don't mind the occasional one, but it's because of course we're British, and they're British, because they're in Cornwall, and it's kind of like, why don't you, for I don't know, Guy Fawkes night, get some pasties? Kind of, that's not a normal thing. There's Thanksgiving coming. Have you thought about getting some pasties? No, because I'm British. And the pasties, it's got nothing to do with Thanksgiving. It's not even got pumpkins and shit in it. They're not even turkey ones. They're beef. Because like all good pasties are. But why are you, literally, it's almost like every Hallmark excuse. It's Father's Day. Why don't you buy me a pasty? Why don't you not? I hate junk mail. I hate junk mail a lot. And when I first moved in here, there was not a lot of junk mail. And during the pandemic, it was great because, well, they weren't allowed out to go and do the junk mail delivery. So from that point of view, fantabulous. However, since then, there has been a sharp increase in the whole kind of, hey, you must want to do some random shit. The ones that annoy me even more are the, hey, we deliver to pizzas in your area. No, you don't. Because if you ever phone them up, no, they don't. So stop sending me your stuff if you're not going to come here. What a waste of tree, I almost can't wait for the day where we do away with post boxes and we just do parcel delivery and emails, and just have done with it. Don't get as many of the free papers here as I used to in my old house. The old house used to have like 3 or 4 papers a week of shit I didn't care about. Oddly, old house I bought off some people who were retired, and this house was bought off people who died because they were old. And I did get a couple of, do you want like a lift put on your stairs kind of thing. But I haven't really had too many of the old people, do you need a hearing aid? Do you need a home help? Kind of stuff. Whereas the last one, Jesus, I swear I still get them there. I haven't looked for a few months, but so I can't promise that they haven't stopped. But last time I looked, because I've just, of course, take great handfuls of it and shove it in the bin. I don't even read most of it these days. But it's such a waste of everything. Waste of them bothering to print it and someone to distribute it, because I don't want it. Wish there was a way to opt out and say, do not, under any circumstances, ever send me junk shit. Can't remember who I was talking to this morning, but we were talking about the dogs, because Rory does have a habit of eating the post. And I have put on my Amazon thing, because you can put delivery instructions, do not put it through the front door. The number of times they do, and I'm expecting a tube of super glue at some point, because I need some more super glue, and they better not put it through the door when the dogs are here, because the dogs will eat it. And I can't stop them either. I mean, I am hoping it kind of comes Thursday when the dogs will be away from the front door. And I'll come home, find the packet of super glue, and because it won't be very big, so it probably does fit through the letterbox, and I can rescue it before they get to it. But even on my old house, I've got a thing on the letterbox that says use the one on the wall. And as you approach the house, the one on the wall is the most visible because the front door is kind of parallel to the direction you walk up at. So it is the most visible thing, and of course it's on the wall and it kind of stands out. The number of people who then go and put something straight through the letterbox, and the letterbox has got it written on it, please use the post box on the wall. And I remember asking someone, why didn't you? I haven't got time to read. But there's a reason I've said put it in the one on the wall. Guy at work was explaining that he's got a similar problem. He's got a porch, and there's a letterbox to the porch, and his postie still opens the door and puts it through the internal door. And it's kind of like, why? Why do you do that to yourself? Because, of course, then he leaves the door open and, Problem with an awful lot of front doors here, I don't know what it's like everywhere else, is our doors are made of plastic. And as a result of being made of plastic, you can't screw on blanking plates, i.e. plates that are just plates, so they close off the letterbox hole. And it means that you can't stop people putting shit through your door. Which, frankly, is a fire hazard, if you think about it. But never mind, you'd have to change your front door, and you do not want to know the price of changing your front door in this country. It's in the thousands range. It's really expensive to change your front door. And most of them come with letterbox holes, and I don't want a letterbox hole. I have thought of getting some metal drill bits, drilling some holes and putting bolts through it, either end, to keep it clamped shut. You know, seems a little excessive, but if you can't get them to follow simple instructions, what do, you know? In my old house, the letterbox slightly fell apart, mainly from people shoving shit through it, and it came out of the door. So what I did was I put one side in upside down, so that instead of you lifting up one side, you push it through and it pushes up the other side. Your fingers met at the hinge, and so you rammed your fingers in it. But what that actually meant was half the people just squished all the post in the hole, assuming that there was it was full or something. And you're kind of going, you'd have to open the letterbox and then kind of play, ooh, what's that? Yeah. Never underestimate a stubborn person who really doesn't want to follow a simple rule. I was a bit worried about you, Tench. Tench hadn't seen you for a couple of days, so, you know. I was wondering where you got to. That's fair enough. You're allowed to do that. There are times I've joined people's stream, I've watched for a bit, and there's a guy and I mean usually, I've been watching him for about a year now, but there's a guy I usually watch stream, and he takes like a day off a week sort of thing, and it's, you know, it's annoying because it's in the middle of the week while I'm working, and it's the one time I really would like the background chat, but he normally talks about random stuff, and, you know, sometimes it's about development, sometimes it's about a game, and you know, generally he's got quite a kind of a good voice for it, so it's quite pleasant to listen to. But this last week, he's been playing World of Warcraft. And, you know, the first day he was playing World of Warcraft, and although I didn't really want to listen to it, I didn't really care, because, you know, whatever, you can play World of Warcraft, you know. But 5 days later of 12 hours a day of playing World of Warcraft, and I just, no. Can you not? Can we play something? Can you do something else for a change? He has had a habit of doing this for recently, in that he'll play a game for a bit and then stop. And I don't disagree with that. You know, he's entitled. It's his stream, you know. But he does have a lot of viewers, so from that point of view, you know, viewer retention and all that is a important factor. But he played a particular game and, you know, got the whole community riled up, and they all kind of went and played the game, and then he just seemed to stop, and everyone was kind of left in his wake going, well, you got us all playing this game so that we could, you know, we could help you do better in the game, and you've stopped now. Now it was a free game, so from that point of view, it's not like people have paid good money, but sometimes, it, you know, like World of Warcraft, it is a buyable game, and, you know, quite a few of these people maybe have bought a game to try and, you know, play. Oh, fuck if I remember the name of it. It's got a name, Tenchi, I don't know. You've asked me after, like 15 hours of being up and doing boring work things, and hang on, let me log into Steam because it was on Steam, I think. Hang on, see if I can find it. I want to say Thunder and Lightning, but it wasn't Thunder and Lightning. It's nothing like Thunder and Lightning. It was some new shit that was raved about, and then everyone stopped playing it again. Throne and Liberty. It was close with Thunder and Lightning. It's got T and an L in it. Throne and Liberty. So that was the one he did most recently. But once again, he didn't just play it for a couple of days on stream to get people interested and then move on. He played it for like 10, 12 days solid in a row, 12 hours a day. And so everyone was doing it to join in and, I won't say be on stream kind of thing, but they kind of were. And I got bored of it very quickly. It wasn't a terrible game. I mean, I played a lot worse, but it just wasn't really what I was looking for. However, mainly because it had some compulsory PvP shit in it, and I don't do PvP. But literally, he was playing it like hardcore playing it, and then suddenly stopped. And he gets criticised a lot for doing this, to be honest, which is, he'll get things like, and he actually moans about it. He kind of gets the, oh, so you don't like this anymore? Well, yes, he does, but somehow he manages to play that off stream, and you're kind of going, you played 12 hours of this, game A on stream. Have you not considered like spending time with your girlfriend or going out or something, rather than mooching straight onto another game for 6 hours? I mean, we've all done some of that when we were younger, but he's not 20 anymore, right? It's not good for you to do that kind of level of gameplay a lot, but I am finding it harder when he goes on some of his binge runs of things. So for a little while he did Helldivers until the whole Sony fiasco. Then he did a little bit of not Helldivers, Warhammer 40k thing recently, and he went through a few weeks of doing that. He even did some joint streaming with some other weird people. One of them was very weird in my opinion. Didn't sit right with me somehow. But he does this, and every so often he kind of goes, we did Ashes of Creation for ages, and then suddenly he stopped doing Ashes of Creation, probably because the servers are down, but he stopped doing Ashes of Creation and leapt straight into doing World of Warcraft on the new classic kind of hardcore server or whatever, and it's kind of like, can you kind of break it up a bit? Can you, have a few variations? Because, if you're not a WoW fan, for example, how long are you going to do this for before people start getting bored of watching you playing WoW? Because, to be honest, and I mean this with great respect, considering that, come this coming weekend, I am going to be streaming a gameplay, but, most gameplay is not really spectator sport, much like I don't feel this is overly spectator sport. At least this has a little bit of, I haven't done that, I haven't got the ability to just start doing that. I can't just give someone $30 or whatever, download it and give it a go, right? It takes a bit more than that. You've got to, get shit and whine shit and prick shit and you could still do it, but you've got to put a bit more effort in it, and well, it's not very quick. There's definitely no dopamine hits. You don't get, achievements other than, I finished a triangle. They are it's very much the old EverQuest style. You've made your own kind of challenges, but it strikes me as a little bit frustrating when part of the reason a lot of people watch him is because he does variations, and some of the time he's writing a game. But he's currently working on a bit he doesn't want to share because it will give some of the secrets away. Fair enough. But you've got other things. He's got other games that he does. So he's got kind of Block Game, which is basically Minecraft, but an MMO inside Minecraft. And, you know, he does updates for that live on stream. But a bit like I do with this, he gets really, really sidetracked from it. And some days he does absolutely bugger all. But he is talking about more mixed stuff. So it's a lot more interesting to listen to, even when you can't necessarily directly watch it. Because obviously if I'm sitting here in silence and all you hear is clump, 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 rattle, clump, 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 this must get really boring. And to be honest, you know, if I was doing streaming of weaving, it would be the same, right? You know, stomp, throw, bash. I mean, how much can you hear of that before you get a little bit bored of it? So for him, listening to him talk about a varied subject is quite interesting because, well, you know, people ask questions and quite often it's, you know, interview advice. It's, you know, should I learn this? I want to get into this. Do you think it's worth doing this qualification? All of those kinds of things. While he often gets asked the same question every day, you know, and he answers it, the fact that it is a varying topic over the course of the day is quite interesting. But watching him start a low-level character on WoW and, you know, kind of like, well, that hasn't changed since I played it. What do you mean you didn't know that was there? And you're kind of like, you work for Blizzard, dude? How did you work on World of Warcraft for years and not know that I know? Yeah, because he did work for Blizzard at one point. So yeah, I don't know. It's there are definitely things in the world that could be. I wish his streams were a bit more varied, and I feel I was thinking about this earlier. I think people are getting bored of watching me doing the same triangle. Because almost how can you not be? You know? How can you not be bored of watching me make the same friggin' triangle over and over and over again? It's not even like it's a different colour, you know? It's the exact same fucking triangles. Which is why brain fatigue is potentially, you know, a bit more of an issue with it. But yeah, I kind of worry that you guys are nearly as bored of it as I think I will become, because you're not even doing it, you know. So I do worry about that. So rather than yeah, my only concern with that then is, of course, well, then it'll just take even longer, won't it? Because it's already destined to take most of a year. So my reality check says, do I really want to extend that even more? I do think while I'm off on holiday, there will be a bit more room for variation. Just because I'm not working all day, I can do maybe a stream in the afternoon of one thing and then a bit of an evening stream of, say, doing this, right? Because obviously most people will be at work, so if I stream during my daytime, most of the Americans are asleep, most of the British and Europeans are working, and that is the majority of people who come to watch. And so as a result of that, you know, if I do an afternoon one of, I know, a bit of an experiment here, or, you know, whatever, that is far more practical. Not sure looming and streaming is an overly viable option, just because videoing it would be difficult to make it absolutely, you know, even remotely interesting. You don't want to be sitting in the far corner of a room, not able to see anything, and I can't really have you any closer because you'll be in the way, and the loom's in the way to make the best view of it, and, you know, all that kind of rubbish. So, but there are other things that can be done. As you say, other things on pillows, because I've got a shitload of pillows and a shitload of bobbins, so I can have a whole vast array of things. I was trying to work out how to maybe video, not video, but you know, stream me doing some cross stitch maybe for a bit of variation. So yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Well, funny you were saying that. I am fascinated by this kind of style lace. Hang on, just says undoing pattern a bit for you. So, butterfly. I mean, I don't know what I'd do with it because, well, it's a butterfly. But only needs 6 pairs of bobbins. Huzzah. Much easier to work 6 pairs of bobbins. You use quite thick thread for it. As well, you don't, but you have a thick thread in the middle. I've got plenty of thick thread. That's a bargain. So for that kind of thing, there is a bit of me that, I mean, fuck the picots. Not doing picots. Hate picots. But the whole kind of doing the lace of following it around wiggly wiggly, making the butterfly, joining all the bits together, I'm up for that. I really am. As we know, I did the Celtic knot before I started streaming it all. So from that point of view, there is a lot of it that I would enjoy doing, and this is more of what I want to do in a style of. Yeah, I'm not so good at the sewing though, am I? My sanity in sewing is bad. But as an example, ignoring the picots in this, because, well, as I said, screw picots because I don't like picots. But having something like this, but what I would like to do is, this is more of the style I want to do for my second, because I've kind of got a feeling there'll be 2 or 3 net curtain type things. Now, they may not be full net curtains. I may do some half net curtains. I know that makes no sense whatsoever, but only go down halfway down the window. Just so that they add a little bit of dapple to the sunlight kind of thing. But have this more of this style, so you have like a dense, solid, probably more this looking, so how this looks at the bottom, rather than this, which looks a little bit more even. Have something where you have like a really dense, solid wiggle because I'm not sure it'll necessarily be actual pictures of anything. But so, you know, almost like a doodle, but have the doodle so that the doodle parts are really dense with kind of held together bits. So like this has got held together bits, but that sort of style. I definitely think that's one. The other one that I've seen is more like patchworking log cabins, where you make a thin strip like this, and then you turn and make, you know, a thin strip, and then you make up a thin strip and come down a bit for a thin strip, and then you go over there and up a bit and make almost like a maze, but out of thin strips that you then join together as you go. And I did see, I have seen a pattern. Oh, I've seen a result of that pattern, not the actual pattern. The good news with that butterfly is there is actually a video to go with it. And I don't know what other patterns come with it actually, because there's usually a couple of patterns with it. Hang on, let's open up the thing and see what we get with it. Oh, there's a thing on the inside. Hang on, there's a bigger thing. So, for example, there is a bigger thing. Yeah, you can almost not see that, but there is a big circular big thing, right? And that's kind of more of what I had in mind, because this is just a wiggly circly thing, right? But obviously I don't want a wiggly circly thing, I want a square thing. But principle, you know, you could make kind of some alternate squarey thing that goes around the edge. So that kind of stuff. I've got a few variations on the wiggles because, well, there's Idra lace, Russian lace, and basically it all seems to be the same shit. So I've got a few of those kind of things. In fact, let me look at my pile of stuff. Move that because you're going to be in the way now. What have we got here? I have, no, I've done that one. I've got Schneeberger lace, which mainly seems to be flowers, so I'm not really into flowers, so we'll not worry about that. I've got Idra lace. Idra lace seems to be basically the same shit but called something else. This one has animals by the looks of it. She says, quickly looking through. Well, I saw peer through some pieces of paper. I'm trying to get through because this one's got some kind of notes with it. I don't want to give me the patterns. So this has got a turtle and a flower. I mean, you know, again, wiggly lines, joiny bits. Same shit, different name. Turtle's kind of interesting. I don't know what I'd do with it, but the turtle's kind of interesting. The flower can sod off. It's a flower. I don't know do flowers really. So I have got these to hand. I've got a couple of patterns of things that I bought. I've got a monster ass pile of books, and I mean, I can't count them from here. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, yeah, 13, 14, 15. So I've got 35 books on lace making of various shites. What's you? That's starting and finishing. That was a pile of shit. What are you? Introduction to Bucks Point. Now you see Bucks Point, kind of interesting, similar shit to this, but not. Works on a different angle, but that's kind of its major highlight in life. That's the next Bucks Point one. Then I've got colour in something else, and colour in something else, and colour in something else. And then I've got Chantilly lace, which is basically Bucks Point lace. Not that you can see too well because of the shine, but there you go. You can see that there's flowers and kind of shit. But again, it comes with a pattern to do, which is incredibly boring actually. But it comes with a couple of patterns, and they are flowers. So you've got this repeating thing that actually is that sized, tiny. And then a slightly different one, and then some bookmarks. I mean, look how fucking small that is, and how many bobbins that is. You need 40 pairs of bobbins for what? 2.5 inches, if that. I mean, Christ alive. Oh, there's another variant end thing, this end of the piece of paper. And well, if I tell you that in my old house I have 2 trunks worth of crochet books and knitting books, this is more my size. That's more my size. Well, I'm kind of with you on that. Part of me says that my net curtain should be done with, you know, human hair-sized thread on, and, you know, 8 billion friggin' bobbins. And my sanity says no. My sanity says definitely no. Thanks for coming, Tench Tench. I always love it when you come, so thank you. Hopefully see you tomorrow, maybe. But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I do think that doing a few other bits to help with any potential brain fatigue, because we all know that if you make 72 of these frigging triangles, I'm going to start hating them a little bit after a while, which was why, initially, I intended to do a square, stop, do something else for a couple of days, do a square, do something else for a few days, do a square, do something else for a few days, just to stop the wasn't I doing this yesterday kind of feeling, because, well, there's only really 3 stitches in this, and so to a large extent, yeah, I was doing this yesterday, and I did it the day before, and the day before that, and the day before that. So there is a lot of similarities, and because you work them in groups, chances are you kind of see the same shit nearly every time, which is another good reason to change the bobbins, so that you can prove that you're not just re-watching a video of me doing it from before. So I'm just going to pull these out. I know it's a row earlier than perhaps I was going to, but I'm in the mood for pulling pins. I like pulling pins. So, you know, there is a bit of me that I am quite tempted to do some other bits, and it's not like I don't have 5,000 other pillows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10... maybe 11 other pillows. So I can do other projects, dude. I can definitely scrounge up a pillow for another project. One of the pillows is definitely half defunct. It seems to be missing a wooden bit, and I'm sure I had the wooden bit, but the middle bit seems to be missing, so I'm not quite sure how that works. I could make it work. It's a roller pillow one, but it was not one I deliberately ordered for the roller pillow. I ordered it actually for all the other bits that came with it, because basically it was like 20 quid for everything. And so the roller pillow is a bit small by what I would like standards, because I like big, because I like a bit of room. I like to be, you know, I like the room for my bobbins to spread out. And so I've got one of those, but I've got a 27-inch long bolster pillow, but I don't think I can video that. Just because it's a bolster pillow, I don't quite think that would work so well. But I've got a bunch of flat ones. I've got some round ones, some square ones. I've got a prized Newnham pillow. I've never forgotten that. I bought some shit off someone on eBay, and she wrote to me and said, I've also got some lace pillows at £20 each. Would you be interested? And I said, well, it depends what they are, but yeah, maybe. And she sent me a picture, and it was like, yeah, okay. And it was £20 for the pair, I think. One of them's worth about £60. So of course I said yes, duh. You know, it's one of the most famous lace pillow makers in the UK, and they're highly sought after. So even if I don't use it, I can always flog it. It's green. That's part of one of the outstanding things. And they were terrible pictures, and I went, looks a bit like a Neiman one, but it was kind of on the floor and green and looking a bit kind of, you know, cast aside a little. And it was kind of like, yeah, whatever. And it arrived, and it's a proper Neiman one. Came with little bags and everything. So I've got 2 round ones, 1 square one a bit like this with movable bits in it, and I hate the movable bits. I wish they make square ones without movable bits. Yeah, I've got shit. I've got a roller pillow. I love my roller pillow. It's 72 centimeters wide. It's a semicircular roller pillow with like velvety plush stuff on it. Oh god, it feels nice. And it's got like a 11-inch, I think it is, wide roller, so you could make some really wide shit on that. You know, remember I was saying at one point I was thinking of making a net curtain by making strips. I'd have made it on that, because, well, you just roller it round. Hallelujah, right? I need to find me a square one that's not got the slidey blocks in it. So more like this, but without the slidey blocks. That's what I really want, which of course is why my favourite one is this one. Hang on. It's this one, which is, as you can see, it has no joints in it. That's because it's a cooler lid with a pile of Amazon things glued to the back to give it a bit more strength, so that if I the dog puts a paw in the middle, it won't just snap in half. It's one of my favourite pillows. Partly because I made it myself, partly because it's the first one I had when I took up lace making again, but also just because it's a really nice size. It's quite rectangular, so it's kind of, well, as you've seen, it's quite rectangular, but it means it's not that deep, but it's quite, you can make it narrow and tall, or you can make it short and wide, and I just really like it. So that's a thing. What I really need, though, is definitely what I really want to do is make a roller pillow of my own that's got kind of like a metre wide roller on it, almost like the bolster pillow at one end with that tacked on the side of it for the bobbins to go on. That'd be a bit of a monster job. And there's nothing actually stopping me doing that, because of course you can do that, because what I could do is make some inkle loom kind of tape, because I've got plenty of that shit over there, but make some so that it's long enough that it can go a loop, I don't know, 6-8 inches on the actual bolster pillow, loop all the way around the pillow with a few pins in it to kind of hold the pillow flat at an angle, but so that the tape becomes flat on the pillow, and then you can use it as like a pillow stand for instead of just having dangling bobbins, but basically use it like a roller pillow, so you turn the bolster at the back and work on the front, so it's kind of flat, but it's attached to the bolster pillow so it can't run away, because that should be a thing. I've got a small bolster pillow. Fuck me, that thing's heavy. I think it's made of straw. It feels more like concrete, but it's made of straw. The other one's made of polystyrene stuff like this, and so I've got pillows. I really do have pillows, and I do keep an eye on eBay just in case like the perfect thing is found, because you never know. And of course I still have my issue with kleptomania of bobbins. I did find another set of bobbins that I would really like to try. God help my soul, I found another set of bobbins. So how to explain what they're like? Remember my hate-filled Midlands bobbins? She says, looking for one of my Midlands bobbins. Where is my Midlands bobbin? It was on here earlier. I saw you, because I hate you. There you are. So, it is very similar to this, but without the spangle, because we hate spangles. It is wider, because it's 8mm wide. And to find a tape measure, to measure this one as an approximation, as guesstimation goes, this is, I'll line that up with that line, 10, 9, 8, 7. So this is 6 or 7mm wide, so it's only a bit wider than these. But they're made out of actual wood. This is plastic, by the way. I do have wooden ones, but it's made out of wood. But it's not supposed to have spangles. But I could... Rory, you're pushing the cushion, hun. As long as you stay there, that's fine. But it is tempting just to say rip the spangles off my Midlands bobbins and use them as they are, rather than spending a small fortune on yet more bobbins. Because, I really don't have money to keep buying piles of bobbins. But I want all the bobbin types. I want to be able to try them all and decide which ones I like. And the problem is you don't have, at least in this country you don't have shops that sell lace making equipment, right? You just don't. You don't seem to have them. They're only online. And so you can't exactly, you know, go on a day trip somewhere to, you know, lace making R Us or whatever and try out all the different bobbin types and play and go, actually, I really, really like these. I'll buy a crap ton of these, please. You have to buy them and then go, I hate these. This does not seem particularly efficient. Now, to be honest, I had the same with spinning wheels. There are spinning wheel companies that have shops in this country. There aren't many. And I have discovered there is one about 15 miles up the road. Yeah, of the one brand I know I hate. The next one's down in Bristol. Yeah, I mean, as a human outcast of hermitness, bear in mind, I'm going to be almost going out for like the second time this year, this week. And, well, I'm only going out because I have to, because it's work. Otherwise, I would have ducked out of that shit. So from that point of view, as the human hermit, I like the idea, don't get me wrong. But I'd either get sucked into all the pretties, I want one of everything. Because I am a klepto, remember that. This is actually a problem for me. I really do want, kind of, like notebooks, I need, oh, it's pretty, I haven't got that one, I want some, right? Funnily enough, it's not the turned ones that I'm so into. So the hand-turned individual really don't bother me so much. It's more the kind of basic styles that I'm interested in, which I guess is a small mercy. Otherwise, I'd be, you know, the day I die, someone would open the door and 50 billion bobbins would fall out, you know. And my bank account would be empty because, well, I'd have spent them all on bobbins. But not the spotlight. I'm on a couple of them. There was one group I left because I just got pissed off with them. So I'm in the beginners group, and there was another group which is kind of like a sister group of it. And I advertised that I'd completed square number 1, and that if you know, and it was kind of the look, I'm feeling really pleased with myself. Here's square number 1. And look, you know, people on the beginners ones are really supportive. Oh, that looks great. You know, oh, that's so much hard work. Oh my God, that's brilliant. And you're kind of going, yeah, you didn't watch me do it because the bitching and the moaning, you wouldn't be quite so impressed with me. But with this other group where everyone else was posting, you know, things they'd done and links to things, they refused mine on the grounds of selling. I'm not selling none of this. I'm keeping this thing. And then when challenged a little bit, they said, oh, well, it clashes with your stream clashes with ours. Well, first of all, I actually only promised to stream on Friday. You do not stream on Friday. You stream on Sunday. Oh, hang on. I am in something along those lines because I have seen. I do because it might be a British one, so it might not be the same one. But she says trying to find the name of it because I'm in a lot of groups. Yeah. I think I am then. I don't know if it's the exact group. Hang on. Because Biggins Lace did something recently. It's not the supplies one. Yeah, Lace Suppliers Spotlight. I am in it. I thought I might be. From your description. The moment you described it, my brain was like, actually, yeah, I am. So yeah, I am in that one. And I bought a few things off that. But I did this for the beginners group. As I say, there was a beginners group and this sister group, and I posted that I'd finished my square and I was dead proud of myself. And this lady refused it because I was selling. When challenged, she said, "Well, your stream crashes with mine." Part of the reason she thought that was because, well, of course, I posted it on Friday and she was looking at it on Saturday night. That is terrible management of a group. I'm the manager of a number of weaving groups. Frankly, if you are not, if you haven't got enough people to approve within a few hours. So if they're not prepared to quickly look in their lunchtime and go, yeah, no, then you haven't got enough people, right? If people are waiting multiple days, because I'd posted on Thursday, she wasn't looking at it until Saturday night and decided that my Friday stream clashed with her Sunday one because she'd waited so long to post it, and she got really snippy about it, and it was like, fine, I'm out. If you want to justify your lies that I am selling when I have no point ever tried to sell anything, because I wouldn't, no. Now, if you want to lie to yourself, you do that and be all clicky and RC yourself. You go and do that and leave me out of it. There are too many assholes on Facebook to be, opening yourselves up to even more of them, to be honest. So, yeah, I left that one. And I was disappointed because, I'm not going to say I've ever been to their some of the Zoom meeting things that they do. And I did think about it, but I'm too busy doing this. I don't really want to, spend 4 hours doing this and then start up straight into a Zoom meeting with a completely different project when I'm already knackered out mentally from trying to people and be all kind of nice and, pretending, and because I'm not a horrible person, but, pretending to be nice and entertaining for people, only to then get into yet another thing where now they know a lot more about it, and, do I really want that? No, I didn't. And so I haven't been to any of them. And I think actually she was more pissed because I'd never been. And I was happily off on my own, doing my own thing. And, I've made my own pattern, because this is my own pattern. I mean, it's based on another pattern, but I still made it. I still had to work all of the stuff out for myself. So, I'm sorry, but if you're going to be grumpy because someone is trying to do well by themselves and making some headway, you're not very friendly, are you? If you're gonna take it all personal and lie about it, you're not being very friendly. It's not very supportive. So yeah, I was quite hurt by that because, well, you're gonna lie about it? Well, you don't have to do that. You could have asked. You could have said, can you confirm when your stream is, because it might clash with ours and we don't want you to clash. That's a fair comment, but she didn't. She deleted it. Well, she didn't publish it and deleted it because, well, it clashes. No, it doesn't. It's Friday. Yours is Sunday. It doesn't go anywhere near it. And so yeah, I was kind of pissed at that. Don't need to lie. It's just not necessary, just be honest. If you feel that threatened by a beginner, you got problems, love, Because I'm actually only a beginner. I do not pretend to be experienced at this shit. So, don't be acting like I'm going to steal your stuff, Because, no, I'm not. I'm too busy struggling with my own crap. We did do a reasonable bit today. It's 10 o'clock, so I need to upload this and get an early-ish night, because I got early meeting tomorrow, which I am not exactly looking forward to. Camera. Sorry, I was wondering what I was looking for then, and the answer is camera, so I can take a picture of it. There we go. Like that. So yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I do think, getting a second project in, especially when I'm on holiday, so I can do, I've got generally more time. And what I might do is record myself doing this but not stream it, and stream something else occasionally, but still put up the videos on YouTube and Twitch of me doing this, so that way it's a bit more broken in that you can still see the progress of it. You get a choice. I wouldn't necessarily be talking so much because, well, I'll be sitting and looking at my own, I might have the TV on instead. But I can do this and keep it going, but do occasional different things. Because as you say, as I started this up, one of my first thoughts were, why would people come when this triangle is the same as the first triangle? It's the same as the fifth triangle. Why would you come and watch me do the exact thing? Now, we have learnt a couple of things along the way, but it's really the same. So I do think, as you say, having some other projects, a few different colours, doing some experiments, because, experiments are good for the soul. Having a bit of fiddle, seeing how things go, using some thicker thread, because just, well, stuff it. Using some infinitely tiny thread because, well, stuff it. Doing a bit of all of that, having a bit of a go of a few random things. I mean, I've got 8/4 cotton by the truck full. No, literally. House full of it. So using something really big and chunky and doing something really big and, to get so that it can be seen really easily as what's going on could be a laugh. And to be honest, I don't think it would make a bad net curtain either. And of course, well, you wouldn't need half as many bobbins then, now would you? Now, like you, there is a bit of me that says use the infinitely thin hair thread stuff and need like 1,000,000 bobbins to the inch. And then my sanity, as I said, kind of going, hello, sanity here. Do you really think that's plan? And then there's the little over-enthusiastic blue smarty brain cell going, yeah. We need to take that one out and shoot it, by the way, because it's responsible for way too much. But it is that kind of point. Imagine if I'd done this in far finer thread, so that it was almost half the size. Can you imagine? Instead of needing 18, I needed, say, 4 times as many. I mean, no. Because, of course, it would take just as long to make. Just because you got thicker thread does not make it shorter. It just means you make a bigger thing with less effort. Well, of course, if it's smaller, you can make a smaller thing. But if you effectively had the exact same number of stitches, it just comes out at like half the size. Well, it's still going to take as long now, isn't it? But I definitely think, as you say, a few variations on a theme. Maybe some form of Christmas tree, given it's December, and actually, confess that Christmas is coming by December. I don't really do Christmas pre-December. In fact, I don't really do Christmas pre-Christmas Eve, but, it is a thing. So there is a possibility. Rory, will you stop jogging he's on my lap and his head's right up against the pillow, so every time he moves the pillow. Which is a little bit annoying because he's so asleep. Oh dear. To be honest, as a single person with no family, I don't do Christmas. I don't put decorations up because I have annoying dogs and a messy house, and the only place to put the Christmas tree is pretty much welded to the ceiling. So I can't be asked with that, so I don't bother with decorations because, well, I know it's Christmas. I'm 52. We've done it a few times by now. And I don't have Christmas presents. I get a couple of Christmas cards usually, and I mean a couple of Christmas cards. I hand out a handful of Christmas cards, and that's it. Kind of it. It really is. I do Christmas dinner because I really like a roast chicken, and I'm having chicken, not turkey, because, well, I like chicken. I like turkey too, but chicken's nicer because it's not quite so dry, and I also don't have to have they come in a size other than family of 20. Because there's only so much you can really do with it, and before you get sick of the sight of it. So chicken is perfectly good. So yeah, I do a roast chicken and stuff because, I like roast chicken and stuffing and roast veggies and, I like all of that. So I do that for Christmas because I don't normally do it on average weekend because there's only me and I don't need to eat it for the rest of the week. So, but I will do it for Christmas because I can and I enjoy it. So it's my treat to myself for Christmas is a roast chicken. Other than that, yeah, I don't do it. I really don't. I get annoyed with the Christmas 24 on Sky starting in September. Don't need that stuff. Sounds ideal to me. As you say, spinning wheel works, looms, knitting, crochet, lace making. Basically, I might even get around to sewing up some of my yeah. Christmas these days is far more for children, and of course, it's a Hallmark holiday now. Whereas back in the day, there was a lot more family to it. There was, and they were mainly still doing it for the kids, but there was a lot more family to it. These days, even if you have family, which I don't, they've got their faces in their phones. They really don't care. And really, all that happens at Christmas is arguments. That seems to sum up most people's Christmases. So, like you say, go on a campsite, avoid them all, screw it all, enjoy yourself, have a good time. Go to all the places that are usually struggling at Christmas because no one does that at Christmas, and have a whale of a time doing a lot of it, with plenty of room and on cheaper rates, and and have a laugh. I don't tend to go on holiday at all, so I don't really leave the house if I can help it these days. But I like my house, so that's a good thing. But yeah, I've no desire to kind of go nuts But I have some videos to watch. I'm going to watch some of my videos. I've got books to delve into. And I think doing some experiments of the contents of some of the books or some of the DVDs, trying a few things out, just to do something a bit different. But I also want to make something I'd use, which makes it a bit more awkward because, well, that makes it more awkward. But, maybe doing a Christmas tea. I've got some green shit somewhere. I've got some red shit I can make, Silver of Dragon, who occasionally drops in here, is currently making the most beautiful, let's call them bauble dresses. So they kind of like go over a bauble and give it, but they don't like encase the bauble. It's literally like a dress. It kind of goes over and makes like a bell or whatever with the bauble inside it. And they're really, really pretty. They're not my thing because I don't really do the Christmas tree. But at the same time, I do think they're really, really pretty. So there are some things I could make. I don't know what I'd do with them afterwards because, well, I don't really do lace, actually. So lace is a really obscure hobby for me, considering I'm not really a lace kind of person. Hence the net curtain, because, well, it's a net curtain that's not really... It's the closest to lace. Did you just growl? He's asleep in my lap, and I'm sure he just growled in his sleep. But I'm not really a lace... No, it's just a snore. Because I felt it through my leg. But there's certainly some stuff I can do, I can play with, I could try. I don't know what I'd do with it after. I could fob it off on a co-worker or something, and I guess that's always something to do. It's what I did with tea towels, with weaving. I made like 9 million tea towels, and it was kind of like, hello, I've not met you before. I don't suppose you want some tea towels? No, they're free. You can have them, kind of thing. Oh, you want to pay for them? Well, I'll give them to the, I'll give it to charity if you don't mind. But I'm making them because I make them, and my lace making is kind of the same deal. Is I'm making it because I'm making it. If I can find someone to give it to, all the better, right? So I've got a couple of bookmarks I was hoping to fob off on somebody at some point. I could always make a couple more bookmarks to fob off on people. Maybe if I can make something for my neighbour. That could work. Anyway, it is true. Making something different just for, something else and stop the square and triangle kind of fixation is definitely something my brain is up for, because I am kind of concerned that it's not exactly the best spectator sport, but watching the same shit day in, day out, I don't blame people for not coming. Really don't. So, yeah. By the way, I'm off starting next Thursday evening, so we've got a week and 2 days before my holiday starts. So I've got a week and 2 days to think about it before I actually get into it. And I can tell you now, on the Friday, I am not getting up early. So Friday stream will be pretty much normal. The weekend will probably be pretty much normal. It'll be the Monday after that it kind of really kicks in, because then I've got all day and I'll have slept to kind of hopefully sleep off some of the stress that I'm suffering from. Either that, or I'll be losing my marbles in the funny farm. Maybe a bit of both. Especially with the news of the day. We ordered a load of stuff. Well, work ordered a load of stuff, and apparently it's not compatible. And it's kind of like, oh, for Christ's sake. So there's a whole pile of stress building up behind that. So, but being on holiday for the rest of the month, because because I didn't take it during the year, bite me, is a thing. And so I can hopefully ignore all of the work thing, and I'll get some pings from my co-worker to tell me how it's going. But I can always ignore him because, well, hey, I'm not married to him, so that's fine. I can ignore people. And yeah, it will be quite good to do a few different things, try different kind of styles of lace, watch a few video, not necessarily watch the videos on stream, but watch a bit of video and then come and try it. And, here's me trying insert whatever, right? Having watched a video on it. Rory, my man, go back to sleep. So yes, with any luck, and if nothing else, if you do miss me here, well, and even if, let's say I do it during the day and you're at work, right? The videos are here on Twitch afterwards, and I do post them on YouTube as well. So you're always welcome to look out for it on YouTube and come and pass comments. You can also find me on Facebook. Look for my icon. It's really not that hard. I don't tend to make friends with people on Facebook, but you'll see me in some of the groups. That is me. Silver of Dragon found me on Facebook, so and said hi to me. So it's good to kind of see that, and you can poke me because I do occasionally poke in the beginners group. So yeah, I will try a few random things, and as you say, keep an eye out for it if you can come. I will always appreciate an extra pair of eyes, especially someone who actually kind of knows what I'm talking about, because it's nice to actually talk to someone who understands, because the frustration of the bobbins is a thing. Yeah, I don't hide. I'm not prissy about it. I'm not, hey, I can't possibly be spoken to. No, I don't suffer from that. Anyway, it's been great chatting with you. I'm going to upload this to YouTube, which takes 15 billion years, thanks to my shitty internet. Literally, I think yesterday's 2-hour stream took nearly an hour and 45 minutes. It takes nearly as long to upload it as it does to do it, which is joyous. And I can't get faster internet currently. Believe me, the day that faster internet is available, I'm signing up for that shit. Because all of them, oh, Virgin, you can have like 1 gig internet through us. No, I can't. You won't come here. The moment I actually ask you for it, oh yeah, you can have shitty internet, you can have crap internet. Well, I've already got shitty internet, thanks. And the lot I'm with are quite good. They're just not very fast. And the moment faster internet is up, believe me, I don't care who I'm with. If I can have faster internet, I will have faster internet, because I need faster internet. This is like a modem, because then I could always stream live to YouTube as well. If I had a faster internet, I could do things and not spend 15 hours uploading friggin' videos. To the point I'm contemplating writing an app to run on my Raspberry Pi that allows me to drop the file there and then power this beast down, because this thing sucks electricity like you've never seen, just so that it can upload it to YouTube without me, so that I don't have to power the universe just to upload it to and I can go to bed, because it takes that long. And there've been nights where it's taken till 2 o'clock in the morning to upload my video, and I've got work at 6. And then you wonder why I yawn, right? But this is the problem. It takes, if I finish at 10 and I've done, say, a 4-hour video, so if I'd started at, say, 6 or 5, it would take till 2 o'clock for this stupid thing to upload. I can't do that. So yeah, I the day faster internet is out there. I am signing up. Rest assured, people, that will definitely happen. Plus, it would also mean I could stream in 4K as well, which would be great. So there's a whole lot of pluses to getting faster internet, and I am so up for that. But until then, I'm going to secretly plan some other things. And, you know, I've got my cross-stitch thing that I'm doing, and I know that technically I can film that. It's a bit more hard, but I can technically film that. Because I've got a stand that I can attach it to, so I can do that. I am definitely up for streaming a few different things and different names and varieties and trying to pretend like I know what the difference is, because some of them really don't look different. But we shall see. We shall definitely see. But as you say, keep an eye out for it. But failing that, I'll be back tomorrow, almost certainly, to do more triangle. Yay! Like you haven't seen me do this before. But yeah, hopefully soon. Speak to you later. Bye-bye.